Hey, good afternoon, everyone, or morning, depending on where you are. Dan Baumann here on the Designer Show, and we're on with my good friend John and my good friend Paul. So, Paul, nice to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and John, I see you're out in your backyard along the river there, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's where I'm wishing I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Let me get some feedback somewhere. My internet is out. I'm using my hotspot for this right now. So bear with me. Just let me know if if you see any change in the internet speed or anything like that. Anyway, so again, welcome to the show. And today we're going to talk with Paul about a plan that he's done, which is really cool. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm watching it here. That I can't do. Okay. I had a screen open and it was being live, which is 10 seconds behind what we're doing.
Oh.
Okay. Sorry. All right. Let me close that and close that. And my internet went out about 20 minutes before the show started. So I was scrambling to try to get it going and I wasn't getting my screens adjusted. So it's just like, bear with me while I move a few things around because there's always a little bit of pre-planning. Actually, there's usually a lot of pre-planning that goes into these shows and with what we want to show you. So today we've got Paul with us and Paul, we're going to review this plan. But before I get in that, I want to show you one thing. And I don't have the screen open. Let me find it. This is terrible. I had it open, I thought.
Well, Dan, working on that, Paul. What's the weather like where you're at?
Snowing and cold.
Snowing and cold.
Snowing and cold, yeah.
Connecticut.
But we have hot power, we have heat, all is good.
That's good.
Yeah, unlike some places where they've lost their power and heat, and it's like I feel so sorry for those areas that are being affected so dramatically with this storm. It's just like, man, here in Minnesota, we're used to this kind of stuff, so it's no big deal. Yeah, but I tell you, other parts of the country, ooh, ouch, Texas is just reeling, and there's plenty of other places that are suffering. So our best wishes go out to them, and hopefully they'll be back. Power on and the warm weather's coming. So,
yep.
It's cold when, it's cold. You live in Minnesota when you wake up in the morning. This was yesterday morning and it says it's 9 above and God, it's balmy outside. I mean, it felt warm.
And there's nothing like it.
It felt warm. It was cool. No, I mean, it was, no pun intended. It was really nice. All right. So, before we get started, I just wanted to point out, let me show my screen here so you can see this. If you're on the show page here where you can watch this live and leave comments, by all means, please check out the new class we've got coming up. It's called Structures CAD. And this course is going to be about mastering the Chief Architect CAD and doing the structure of your building. So it's going to be a really fun course. I'm really excited about doing it. I know, John, you'll be here helping with that. And I just wanted to show you a little bit about some of the things we'll be covering in this course. So over the years, I've developed a practice of chief architect and Paul has adopted a lot of this into his plans. And that's why I was really impressed with what he had done of doing nice details and doing the 3D framing in your project. So you're taking the full advantage of the Chief Architect software to draw details and to show the framing for the projects that you're going to do. And I understand a lot of people may not want to do that. They may not want to show the framing. They're just going to rely on the construction details. But Chief is really, really good at doing the framing after you've done a good model. So up until now, we've really focused heavy on doing good models in the program, trying to get the right floors in, the right walls, the right ceilings, everything. We're trying to get all that stuff just right in our plans. And we want to have it as accurate as possible. So if we're doing that, why not show the 3D framing? Because the framing doesn't take that long to put in. I mean, Paul, on your project, did it take that long to put the framing in once you had the model in place? I mean, we'll talk about that in a second. So anyway, so these are the kinds of things we're going to talk about in the Chief Architect class. So I'm going to show you how to use Chief's CAD tools. So if you are a current AutoCAD user, you won't need to use that program anymore once you take this class, because you will see how the CAD works in Chief. We'll talk about how to do plot plans, how to do details, how to do roof plans, how to add details to your plan, how to do the 3D framing. We're going to cover all of that. It's a 6-session class, 6 90-minute sessions over 2 weeks. And we're really going to take you down. We're going to have a nice journey into how you do all of these things in the program. I mean, I actually did this plan back in 2002. So I've been doing this kind of thing for a long time, where I'm showing that kind of information in there. Here we've got one showing having the streets and everything in the plan, and even bringing that to the 3D views, so you can really see what's going on. So we'll cover all sorts of things like that, and it'll be a fun class. So John, you've been around me long enough, and I know you do a lot of this yourself. So you got any comments about the course?
From what I'm not an AutoCAD user, never used it, but from what I've seen from people that show me stuff, Chief can do anything that AutoCAD can do.
Yeah,
when it comes to residential construction.
In the construction world, in our world, absolutely.
Yes.
So anyway, all right. So thanks for listening to that. The course is coming up. If you're watching this after the course has taken place, it starts on the 24th. It will be recorded and it will be available afterwards too, so you can watch it as a on-demand course. So just keep that in mind. It's $297 for the whole course. Love to have you involved. All right, enough of that, Paul. Let's get to your plan that you've got going here, and give us a little bit of background about this project that you've done.
Well, we didn't start it yet. We didn't start the project yet. We're still in the design phase. So the plans I sent you are a little premature, but they're almost there. People called me up last year wanting to take their one-story ranch, I guess it is, that had an addition put on about 20, 30 years ago. And what they wanted to do was convert the 2 bedrooms on the first floor into a master bedroom, add a master bathroom, and then add a powder room. And
can you zoom in on some of those pictures so we can see them a little better?
Yes, I will. Give me 1 second here.
Sorry, Paul.
I was going to bring the project up on Google Maps here.
Okay.
So, and then we'll get to the plan. So one of the first things I ever do, and Paul, I'm sure you do the same thing, is when someone calls about a project, I get the address, and I do a lot of work with clients. And the first thing I wanted to see is what are the existing conditions? What's there? Yeah. And, in a lot of larger cities, you've got the maps where you can take a look at that project. So there's the house right there. And we can also pop in on the street view and take a look at it too. So go ahead and keep talking about that.
Yeah, so they wanted to take that front half of the house and put a second story on it, so we can get 2 bedrooms and a full bathroom on the second floor, and keep their master bedroom on the first floor. The house is built on a crawl space foundation. I believe it was built maybe in the 20s or 30s, maybe in the 40s. It was built a long time ago.
Well, it looks like it had been built in different stages, because obviously someone came along and put on this.
They put that addition on in 91.
Yeah, less than architecturally pleasing addition.
Yeah, it's not a real attractive addition, and it made it difficult to blend something in to look real nice. In the plan I came up with is basic. Everybody has a budget, so I try to keep it as standard as possible for a colonial type house. And but it just turns out that the foundation that's there, it's an 8-inch block foundation. I don't think the footings are at frost depth to begin with, and it's not in great condition. So we're just going to tear half of the house down and rebuild it. And so then I had to, do my as-built, draw it up as best I could with the existing. And it was one of those houses where none of the walls were standard dimensions. Some of them were 1.5 inches thick. They were just, 2x4s with pieces of plywood put on. The footings and the pillars and whatnot in the basement, there's a ton of them. And I just, when I went to do the as-built, I just kind of put, layouts approximate of those footings, because I know we're going to tear half of it out. And the existing structure has the whole first floor is an oak floor, and it's over a 2x6 framing with no subfloor. And we got to tie into that.
Interesting.
And the thing is that 1991 addition that was put on the back of the house, after that is where the original house begins, and we're going to keep about 10 feet of that original house. So if you look at my elevation views, the cross sections, I should say, you see the different heights of the basement floor, what we're going to have. And it was a challenge for me to draw this, to get a good rendering or a good concept of what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, definitely a challenging project. I mean, it's not a huge project, but yeah, you got some things going on here.
Yeah.
John, you were asking something?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So, okay, cool. So there's a couple of things I want to do here with you. Is one, you're up to 21 pages in your plan. And so you've got a lot of detail. It's obviously put a ton of effort into this plan. You started this in July, it looks like. Is that correct?
Yeah, we started. Yeah, I worked on it for probably 2 months, and then we took a break because we knew we weren't going to be building it in the fall. We were going to have to wait until the spring. So
Okay.
once the concepts were complete, we just kind of took a break, and then I started working on them about a month ago to convert them over to the working drawings.
Okay. Cool. So, young couple, family, got kids and stuff?
No, they're in their 60s.
Oh, older couple. Okay.
Just always wanted to have a bigger house, and so that's what they want to do. Yeah.
All right, cool. So I was actually looking, you had sent me a backup, and the backup has all the, so when you're in chief architect and you want to send a file to someone,
Mhm.
the best way to do that is to go to the layout page and then go to file and go to backup entire project. Go back up the entire project. And what that does is anything that's on the layout, all of the plans, any pictures, any PDFs, anything that's in the plan, if you can send it as a zip archive, will be put into a folder. And here you can see we got all the materials from the actual 3D house. And the reason I mentioned, I asked if it was a young couple, is because I saw a picture here of a young couple. I thought, oh, maybe that's the people building, but
That's from another project, and I don't know.
okay.
I took that and I put it in a frame and I put it on their wall when I drew
Got
it.
it. Yeah, and that's kind of fun. I'll do that too with clients.
There.
Yeah, if you can find.
Backup, save as.
So yeah.
Oh no!
Dan and Paul, we had a comment that it's hard to hear Paul.
Oh, is that right?
I'm noticing it's when we talk over him, so we need to give him
room.
Yeah,
All right.
give him room to talk.
Okay.
We can do that.
Yeah, I think that picture. You know what? That picture was saved in my library. So
Okay.
when I saved my template, it was saved into all the plans. I got to get that out of the library.
So the bottom line here is you'll notice there's a lot of stuff in that file. And so when someone opens that plan on a different computer, they won't get those error message that there's something missing. So that's the best way to back up a plan and send it to someone.
Gotcha.
So let's just go to page 1 and let's just start working our way through the plan. So all I'm going to do is I'm clicking on the page number here, and then I can type in which page I want to go to right here. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and that'll jump me to page 1. I could also just double click on the item over here where I'm in the project browser and I'm in the pages for that layout. And so there's really a lot of ways to navigate through your project there. All right, so I really like how you took advantage of the use of photos in your plan. And you can put those on the layout. You can put them in your CAD detail window on the plan. You can put them on your floor plan. There's all sorts of places you can store the pictures in your plans. And just an FYI about those is when you place pictures in your project, if you're going to if you're going to work on this on different computers, okay, so you have a laptop, you have a desktop, maybe someone else in your company is working on it. When you put photos in your plan on a layout or on a thing, make sure you open them and hit save in plan.
Did I not save?
Not on this one, it didn't.
What would that be? You open it up on one computer, then you do it on another, and it's not there.
Right, that's what happens. Okay.
Save in plan.
Okay. So, I mean, I see it because you did the full backup and it's included those in that folder. But again, so if you have any issues with those doing that, that's what you've got to do. All right. So you've done a nice job. You got some nice overviews here. Looks like you've done some nice renderings, got the shadows turned on. So you've got first and second floor overview. I like your little, illustration, not to scale. That's a really good little deal there. Now it looks, you're using one of my old templates, I see, and you've customized it for yourself. So you're using the automatic page titling. So whatever you name this, it's going to show up here. It's going to show up here.
Right.
And it's also going to show up on the schedule, the page layout, the page schedule. So that's really makes it easy. So those of you that are using Chief's layout function, make sure that when you're adding things like that, and again, part of this is we're reviewing your plan, but I'm also here to teach people about some of these functions in the program. So bear with me as I go through both of these types of things. And if I get too deep in it, John, just tell me to shut up.
I will.
Okay. Or be quiet. You just say it nicely.
Move on, Dan.
Yeah, move on. There we go. It's like, get out of it. So what I do here is you right click on this and you hit edit page information, and you can change that right there under title. And on page 0, there is a macro in here when I open that called page title. So you see what it says right here. It says layout title. So I would click on this macro right here, that little button, and it's and you go objects, we go global, layout info, and we're going to go layout page title. All right, so that's going to give us, that macro is going to put anywhere on our plan whatever we type here under page title. So there's 4 macros available, and I've taken advantage of the page numbering and the that and that. Now, Paul, it looks like you, actually maybe you are. You're using the auto page numbering, or you're not? So how are you doing your page numbering?
Yeah, go to page 0, the full page.
Okay, yeah. So you're using the layout page macro, which you can also do. And in my new template, it has this all in it. And this works okay if you're going to rearrange the pages; they'll still update. What doesn't work is I have no way to automatically label my callouts on the floor plan, and so what we want to do there is instead of using the page callout, what we want to use is a macro that is called the layout page label. Okay, it's the label. It should really, they could almost name this layout page number, because that's really almost all it's used for. And so when we do that, when we use the layout page number, then when you have callouts on your floor plan, so if I go back to your floor plan and you have some elevation callouts and things like that, it will automatically on the text, this is a note, not a call out. Let me find a call out. Let's go back to your working plan. And here's a call out. So if you want the page number to show up in there, you have to, come on, open up. Under page display, whatever you have in that box where it says layout page, that first cell, it'll automatically put the page number in your callout. So when you rearrange your pages, they'll always stay up to date. So your callouts will always have the right page number on them. I won't get any deeper into that right now, but so that's something we can talk about at a different time. All right, so back to your plan. I'll try not to do too much of that, but it's always fun to take a look at that. So the step you're missing there is just that you have to watch your callouts and always change the page numbers manually, which is a real pain in the butt. So we want that to be automatic. Okay, so back to your plan, back to your layout. So you've done that. So you've got your automatic layout page table, which is going to be exactly what you've typed here. That's really cool. And if you do rearrange the pages here, that will stay up to date.
Right.
Yeah. So, and you can do different page numbering, but we won't get into that right now. You've got some notes on your proposed project, which is always helpful. You've got your page description, the project address. You've got a little disclaimer here. Always a really good idea. These views are not to scale.
Made that up myself.
Pardon?
Made that up myself.
Very good. Probably that's where I got the idea to put it in my template. And I think that might be actually, or did you take mine? Anyway, yeah.
I
So,
took John's too.
okay. So I put that on all of my plans. It's a little disclaimer that's on the sheet that is, bam, I've heard horror stories of people that have the 3D views, the 3D render views have been used against them to make they had to make changes to the project because the project didn't match the views. So we got to make it clear to clients that it's just for illustration. And I like what you've done here under the views. Okay. I would recommend that that's my copyright. Do you have a copyright on your plans?
I do not.
Yeah, I would recommend you do that. It doesn't have to be anything major. And let me just open up a quick layout. It's like if you do it, at least you've got something to fall back on. And it gives people pause that, okay, it's just a simple step here, your company name, all rights reserved, duplication, distributors plan without written permission is a no-no. It can be as simple as that.
Gotcha.
You've just put your copyright on there. Okay, so I would recommend just do it in small letters somewhere on every page of your plan. And there are some. If you look in Chief's library, if we go back to the library here. Oh, my damn toolbar messed up again. Okay, so if we go here, and we go to CAD blocks, notes and legends. I've been noticing that Chief has been adding some nice things in their notes here, where you can just grab parts or all of these things and add them to your plan. So that's not a bad idea to just take a look at this. So
if I were drawing these plans for somebody else to build, I would have a lot more notes, disclaimers in there. But being that I'm going to be building this, if I say the contract shall be responsible for this, and it's like, well, I'm the contractor. So
yeah, and that's a really good point too, because I've seen plans that have pages and pages of notes. I work with some clients that have 0 notes. I mean, they just want dimensions, walls laid out. They want a good model, good, some nice sections, things like that, so they know how to build it. But they don't need notes because of what you're just saying, because you're going to build it. It's right. You're controlling the whole process. So, but anyway, get your copyright on there just in case something happens. You don't want the client taking those plans and just giving them to someone else without your permission, right? Because you got a lot of effort into this project, obviously. Okay. All right, so if we go to page 2, and you've done a really nice job of, here's your existing building, and you're very clearly stating that that's going to stay the same. This part of the building is going to remain, that goofy addition on the back. I see it's probably a nice addition. It's just the roof. That's a little goofy. And you're going to demo the foundation and floor and everything on this one. So you're really demoing it all.
Pretty much.
Down to the ground. You're not saving anything.
No.
So you're starting all over there. Okay. So that I like how you did the clouding and then the label there. Another thing you might do when you start letting these plans out to people is you could do the watermark. I think a lot of people don't realize Chief has a watermark. And if we go to the default settings, you can click on the watermark function and you could type in a text for the watermark, or you could have an image in it, and the text could be whatever you want it to be. And so, you could just say not for construction, or these plans, don't mess with my plans, or, whatever you want to put in there. I like to give it a real light gray, just so it's kind of subtle in the background. I like to give them a little bit of an angle, 30, 40 degrees, transparency. You can play with that a little bit, and then click OK. And then we turn that on. So that's how we set it, is in the defaults. And we turn that on under the view watermark. And where is it? Where is it? Oh, is the text too small? Let me go double check that. Watermark. Print size only 1/2 inch. So you might want to make it a little bigger. Let me make it darker so it shows up. Oh, there it is. So I needed to make the text bigger. So I'd even make it bigger than that. So go into your defaults again. Let's change that size to 2 inches. And click OK. And done. And, done. It's like the knot's not showing up there, but here you can see it well. So it's distracting a little bit, but it's very clear this plan not done. I've heard horror stories of people that contract designers worked on plans. They weren't done. The homeowner took the plans and did the project anyway. And since plans weren't done, the project was a mess. And who was responsible for that? Came back to the designer. So not a bad idea to use a watermark on there when you print those out. And the other thing that's good, if the client owes you money for the plans, they can't do anything with this until they pay you. They're not going to be able to get a permit for this with this. So that's a way to protect yourself. So make that kind of fill the whole page. You could make the text a little taller and do whatever you want with that. So it doesn't protect you from them taking it and copying over it and doing that stuff. So tell me a little bit about how you went about getting this job.
Well, the people called me. I forget exactly how they came across my name. I don't remember if it was they saw an advertisement or if it was a referral. It might have been a Facebook kind of thing where somebody recommended me to them on Facebook. I'll have to ask them. They did tell me, I forgot it. But anyway, they called me. I went out there and they told me what they wanted. And I took a look around at the house, listened to everything they told me. And first of all, tried to figure out if it was feasible to do what they wanted to do, not even thinking about the price, but I looked at it and I says, yeah, we can do what you want to do. And then we talked about their budget, and their budget was about $150,000. And I said, it's probably going to be about $300,000. And we kind of looked at each other and been like, well, okay, we were just throwing something out there. We weren't really sure. And then at that point I told them what I can do for them and how I go about the design process, and that I would come out, draw the house up, do the as-built, and then from there I'd start drawing a concept plan. And I would, as I'm drawing the plan and coming up with ideas, I would email them, some of the ideas I had to make sure we're on the same page. And I explained to them how I work, and I charge a fee for that. And this project, I charge them for the concept plans. I charge them $5,000.
Okay, for the concept.
Yep, for the concepts.
Okay, and did they pay that all up front?
They paid half up front and then half when I was finished. How did you determine when you were finished with the concept? How did I determine when I was finished with it?
The concept. When
I had the as-built done, I had the layout done, and I was able to get some renderings. And when we reviewed it, they told me what they liked, what they didn't like.
Okay.
And, what kind of changes they might want to make. So that was the revision process. So I made some changes. And when I went out there a second time to show them what I came up with, they liked it. I cleaned it up a bit, and that was the end of the concept.
There you are.
And then along with my concept plan, I draw up a construction proposal with a firm price based on plans. And so they had the plans, they had the price, they had the proposal, and the next step was to move forward with the project. And the
price came in at $350, right?
The price came in at, I think it was around $350, $375, and then material prices went absolutely crazy.
Oh gosh, that's right.
So
how did that affect the price?
Affected it a lot. And what I also did was I met with my excavator and concrete contractor out there, my mason, and we went over the project, and it was quite a bit more than what I had thought, because what we were going to do was just put in a crawl space, a short crawl space, dig trenches, pour footings, pour the wall, and the slab would be pretty much at grade. And he's like, listen, we still have to build the 5 or 6 foot tall walls, when we're looking at the grade. So he says, let's just dig out the basement and give them a taller crawl space. So that's what we're going to do. And so that added a little bit to the price, which we didn't have to do, but they liked that idea.
Okay.
More accessible, give them some more storage down there. So between the lumber prices increasing dramatically and the added expense to haul away all the excess fill from the excavation and pour more concrete, and now we're down to footing drains, getting drainage, a dry well, things like that. It brought the price up to right around 400,000. It's
Okay.
either right under or right at, or
Sure.
right over. It's like 402 or 398, something like that. And I'm sure that
Yeah.
will change as we go through the project as well.
Yeah, I remember when I did remodeling, I had a little form that filled that people would sign that had the 20 things that are going to go wrong with your project. It was really cool. I mean, we're going to hang plastic everywhere, but you're still going to get dust.
Oh, yeah.
Some of our subs aren't going to show up when they're supposed to, but don't worry, we'll take care of it. We're going to get a wrong delivery. We'll take care of it. I mean, that's why you hired us. So and that was also part of it, is that plan on spending another 10% by the time we're done.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be changes, unforeseen things like that. So budget for that.
Yeah. So we're at the, so I jumped the gun and started converting these into construction drawings before I have the construction contract signed. I'm not real concerned about it. But when I do the construction project, we changed windows. We changed the type of windows, the size, the style.
Sure.
And I'm going to re-input all my lumber prices again. And it is what it's going to come out to. Maybe it will come out to less. Probably
Sure.
won't. But I will go through the pricing one more time when I draw up the contract.
Okay. I like how you're taking advantage of the text schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And I see you put that, it looks like you put that in a detail window.
Yeah.
Am I seeing that right? So
details in this.
when you're on your plan,
Yeah.
and I get confused. I opened your plan and it came up like this, because you have the page turned on here, and it's just like, that always confuses me. So I'm gonna turn that off.
You thought it was the layout for a second.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So I never work with that on the plan view.
I like it on. I don't know why. I just do.
It's up, whatever you like. Okay. So you have in your CAD details, that's this right here, where you can store all these things that are in your plan, CAD Detail Management. So you've got a lot of stuff going on in here.
Yes.
You've done a really nice job of naming all of those things too. So the advantage of doing this is that, imagine if you had all those in separate plan files. What a mess that would be, trying to find all of those things all the time. And then if you did anything to your layout, you'd lose all your links. If you renamed your plan, it could be a real mess. So this is where you do all of that information. So you got those notes in one thing. So again, if I want to look at the deck, there it is. And that's really the ideal way to do it. And that's what that's for. That's what these CAD detail windows are for. You can store schedules in those.
Yeah.
You got your note schedules in one of them. I have some people that store all their schedules in one of those. They store all their notes in another one of those, and they'll just grab what they need for their layout when they need it. So one of the things that people might ask, well, I'm looking at my note list here and I go, oh, I need to change something here. Just an FYI, when you do that, Chief does offer you this down here where you can search to find where that is in your plan when you click on an item on the schedule. And this is true for all schedules, by the way, not just note schedules. And also you could, if you just want to edit it here, you could hit the little open door dialog here, the open dialog icon for that item on the schedule. And that would allow you to edit that item. So if you want to find it in your plan, you click on this magnifying glass and it'll take you to your plan. And there it is. That's that note right there. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to go hunting. Where did I put that note? It's just a real nice way to find it. And again, that's true for all schedules. So if you have a window schedule and you click on a window and you hit the search function, it'll go highlight the windows that are related to that item on the schedule. Right. So the Chief is doing phenomenally cool things with the schedules. And the next version, same thing. More cool things for the schedules are coming. So they're really making them super powerful and super usable. All right, back to your plan. John, you got anything you want to add at this point?
Well, I'm just thinking at some point here, we should probably go to the questions.
Oh, okay. Well, what do we got?
Questions and comments.
Pop some in there. Oh, I see you did a wall schedule. Before I do that, before I talk over you, John, I wanted to finish this page.
Okay.
We got the wall schedule too, and you've done that by just creating a simple schedule that shows the walls, different walls you've used in your plan. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
No, and a nice way to do it. It's really describing. So you create a wall. That's the name of the wall right there, right?
Yep.
And then so you just added that to schedule.
Very simple, yeah.
So if you add more walls, this will update automatically. If you change the names, it'll update automatically. So very nice. Very nice. I'm sorry, John, go ahead.
Anyway, Bill asked a question we knew it would be asked. How many hours are in the project so far?
I think you've got what, a couple days worth of work in here? Is that what it was?
A couple of weeks. There's probably 200 hours between the plan and the layout.
So when you're working on a plan and chief architect, chief is watching you in the background. It's not watching you. It's keeping track of when you're physically working on the plan. So it's got a time tracker in there. And you don't have to do anything. Every time you start a plan, it's going to start recording the time when you're working on it. If you go away for 5 minutes, the clock will stop. All right. And then when you pick up your mouse again and start working on the plan, the clock will start again. So Paul has, so we got 70 hours on the layout page by itself. And then we've got, and again, that we were looking at that earlier, and there was there was like an 11-hour block there. I don't know what the heck that was about, but it was there.
70 hours though in the layout, if you have the plan open at the same time while you're pulling stuff into it.
That's what it is.
Covering hours.
Yeah. I often have them both open at the same time. I like to do the layout and the plan as I go.
Yeah. So here in your as-built and the plan, because the as-built would, you did that and then you made a copy of it to start making the changes. So this is going to include the as-built plus the plan. You got over about 200 hours.
That sounds about right.
Which for this plan, that's very good. And you also commented that you were learning a lot about chief as you're doing this too.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't do chief every day. You know, I mean, I have for the last several weeks now, but when I like to get the auto functions to work really well, so I don't have to do anything manually. And a lot of times, and I'm still working on something now, trying to get a cantilever to frame the way I want it to, and it's not doing it. And so I'm going to exhaust myself trying to get, and it's going to take hours, and it will look like it's adding hours to the design, but it's really not. So if you
came to my CAD class, I'll show you how to do that in about 5 minutes.
So that's why I don't really charge by the hour when it comes to plans. I charge what they should take me, not what they do take me.
Yeah, that's kind of subjective. We could argue that, but anyway, let's not. All right. Any other quick questions?
It's on 24 by 36 paper. That was a question. Are there any chief architect templates for typical construction drawing layouts? Just show them the library where that stuff's at quick.
Yeah.
And construction notes, legends, and schedules.
Yeah, there's some of that. If you want to go look at examples, go to the chief website and look at samples. A lot of people upload samples there. That's a good way to do it. Again, I have my template, which has all that stuff set up already. And it's ready to go. And I don't have anything on the things. They're blank to start with because I want you to set up the way you work. And, getting these notes the way you work, you're going to need a little upfront work. So that's just what you have to do. Now, the next time, Paul, you do this plan, you've got a lot of your notes in place already.
Yeah, it's my template. So
so you could add, you could start adding these to the library or add them to a CAD detail window as part of your template. And it's there and ready to go.
Yeah. There's a question about wondering what Paul's background is: general contractor, architect, designer.
General contractor. I don't have any formal training in being a designer, but I've been doing it for 25 years. So I call I have a design build company. I wish I did take some formal training. It probably saved me a lot of time, so my projects might come out a little bit better. But
well, you realize 25 years of being in business is kind of like formal training. It's just extended formal training.
So right.
I think they call that the School of HK.
Yeah. But I learned chief by myself through your classes, Dan. I came across your chief expert.
Speaking of that, Speaking of that, there you are.
Where am I? There I am. Yep.
There you are, hiding in the back there.
Yep. But
This
even
was,
before that, I download. I'm a member of the Chief Experts, and I watched your Chief. I think it was version 6. You have the series for it.
yeah.
So I went through that, and I walked my office weeks.
I'll be redoing that whole course in a few weeks. They're starting, so it's a 15-week course once a week. So,
it's funny. I pulled up a set. My father was a builder, and I would pull up a set. I occasionally I'll refer to a set of his plans. I mean, he'll have a 3,000 square foot house, a basic colonial. That's 3 pages.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys built them like there's no framing details. There's not a whole. That's like 12-inch gable overhangs, typical. Yeah. And but she's just powerful, and I want to make sure I get this right. That I start putting notes and
and people still build like that. I'm working with a client now that has a builder that I said, hey, give me a set of his plans so I can draw them like he builds them. Mm-hmm. And he said, no, I don't need that. Just give me a floor plan and I'll build it for you.
Yeah.
And the homeowner's going, well, that's not how I want to work. So they're considering a different builder now.
It's like, funny. These plans are for a gentleman. He's an engineer, and he took a set of plans. I gave him, I emailed him. Here's the preliminary construction plans, and he looks at every little detail, and looking at notes that were notes just for myself. And he'll ask me about, I don't see the roof plane that you're referring to. I'm like, nah. And I'm like, that was a bad move. It was
engineers are a little tougher to draw for. Architects and engineers.
I get it.
Okay, so moving on here. So you've done your 3D framing, which again, when you're on a layout page, this is going to look a little fuzzy. That's normal, but it prints perfectly clear. Chief just does that to help conserve resources. Now, these views that you have here, thank you. I'm glad I have you here, John. So these kind of views on the layout, again, they look really fuzzy, and that's normal. Now, this kind of a view, Paul, you have the option that you're just showing that as an image, but you do have the option.
You can update that. That's updatable.
Yeah, you can show that. Well, you could show it as a line drawing too, and you don't have to resend it to the layout. I run into this a lot with clients.
Oh, I don't. Just update it.
Well, hang on. People will send these kind of views to the layout, and they'll send them as an image, not as it's a live image, but it's not line drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll probably still print fine, but a lot of times you want to do plot lines on that.
Oh.
So that'll be a line drawing now. So you can go to on the layout, you can just open the dialog and switch that to plot lines. And then sometimes in a lot of my framing plans, I'd rather print the lot lines. So then I have to you hit the refresh button, and now it's going to print as a line drawing, and those will print perfectly straight when they print. They just show on the screen a little jaggedy. And then I would normally turn the shadows off on this kind of a view too.
So all on your CAD on those drawings, are the CAD lines dashed?
Or the what?
The CAD lines, are they dashed?
What CAD lines?
CAD lines that are showing the lines.
Those are vector lines. They're not.
Yeah, but are they dashed? If you open that view up, are they dashed CAD lines or?
No, that would be a layer control thing if it were dashed.
Just wondering why they're.
So we would switch to a vector view here, and then we could switch to go to the view defaults and turn the shadows off. I've found that sometimes on these framing plans, the shadows add a level of confusion to the view that you don't want. So again, doing it as an image is fine if it's printing fine, but sometimes they print too dark. Sometimes they just are not quite right. So now when I refresh this display again, it'll show without the shadows because I went into the view and turned it off. So that'll print really nice and clean now. So anyway, that's just an FYI for you. And you probably already knew that. But again, good information. I had asked you earlier, why would you show the framing on that existing part of the house? Because that's existing. You're not, why wouldn't you just show the framing on the new part?
Reference.
Pardon? It's just for your reference?
It's kind of like it says it's for illustration, just to show what the whole thing might look like. But I suppose you're right, yeah, because we're not going to be framing that.
Yeah, let me take a moment and I'll just show you I'll show the client, I'll show everybody on the call here the basic concept of what I'm talking about. So let me go open a new plan here real quick, and I'll just do this super quick. I'm going to draw a box that's going to be the existing, and then I'm going to put a little room addition on down here. So I'm going to use the same wall type. Okay, so I'm going to put a roof on this plan. And I want to show the framing for the new plan and not the existing house. So all I have to do that is I can click on this. Actually, I do need to do a foundation real quick too. So we got to do a show foundation, build the foundation. Build foundation. I'll just click through this real quick. Okay and okay. Now pull this in here. And then when I go up to the room up above, I can click on that room now and open the framing, or I can do the framing just for that room by clicking on this button, this box right here, the framing icon. I can click on that with the plat. I would say yes to this. I don't want it to frame the whole. I just want it to end at where that wall ends. And then I'm going to say no to that because I'm not in my framing view. So let me switch to my framing view. And then when I go to the foundation, there's my floor framing. And again, it's going to be I-joist because that's what's specified by default. Here, I would click on this, and I would put those walls on a different layer called walls, normal, new. Click OK, and click OK. Then I would frame those walls separate from the rest of the house. Then I do the same to the roof planes. I would open the dialog for the roof planes, put them on a new layer called roof planes new. This is all set up in my template. Mm-hmm. And then I would frame the roof planes. Again, if I'm doing hand framing, that's done. So now when I bring up a 3D view and I switch to the view that would show the as-built versus new, the 3D framing, okay, because I put the walls on a layer, that layer shut off, but the framing still shows. Because I put the roof on a layer, that roof framing still shows. So there we go. So
you've just added about 10 hours to my layout and plan.
What do you mean?
We were talking about how much time I have into the drawing. Now I have to do this.
Just do it on the next project, Paul.
My Friday night is shot. Thank you.
Sorry. Anyway.
That's cool. That's
all right. So it's
but I haven't gotten there yet. But
yeah.
Now,
I mean, you've done a phenomenal job on your plan. So don't take that wrong. It's just I've been doing this a long time, and I've mastered those steps the way I like to show it, and it really works well. All right, let's just get back to your plan. Any questions, John, that we need an answer?
Comments. How many total square feet are there going to be when it's done?
It's on page 1, I believe.
Is it on page 1? Let's go back to page 1. And did you have a note? Yeah, here you go. Basement, finished area, finished area.
So about almost 3,000, 2,800.
About 20, around 26, 2,700,
okay.
I think. 28.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of house when you're all done.
It is.
It's a nice layout. We're not going to talk about the actual layout, but yeah, it's a nice. Just the bit I've glanced at.
There's only so much I can do with the existing footprint and the size of the lot. So
exactly. So
I'm wondering, I think Margaret asked this question after we talked about it, but why is the cloud around the existing foundation on page 2?
Just to note that that's the existing foundation.
Okay.
Yeah, clouds are really a nice way to bring someone's attention to something. Yeah. And I like how you've shaded this cloud so that it's really obvious. Now the trouble with that is when you print in color, that shading won't print. I'm sorry, when you print in black and white, the light gray shading won't print.
Okay.
Unless you're printing in shades of gray, then it will. So it depends on how you're printing your plan and who's doing it. So it might print in gray, it might not. So if you wanted that to really show, you might do a hatch pattern in that and spread the lines out, make it transparent. And that's another way to do that. So if you can always, again, it just depends on where you take it to get printed. I know color prints can get really expensive. unless you have your own plotter. All right. So you've done a nice job laying out your posts, your beams, lots of nice notes. I see you like to bend your lines. And I noticed on your post on Facebook the other day. So I think you picked up on that. So when you add text to your plan, and bent line, all right. And we had talked about this, and that you could take that line and you could make it an arc like this by clicking the little convert to line tool, and that will make both those lines arcs. Actually, it's just the line I clicked on, I'm sorry. And we could do that, but that's a bit of work. So I don't like doing it like that. The way I do my text when I want to do a bent line is I use the text tool. I draw one arrow, and then I click and add the text. My computer just decided to slow way down, and I'll just throw some text in there. And then I grab that arrow with the right mouse button and my control key held down, and now I can put it wherever I want. And then if I need to break that to go around things, I hit the 3 key or the break tool, and I'll put a break in that line. And then I'll grab this and I'll hold my control key down and I can bend it around like that.
Did not know you could do that.
You just learned something new. Way to go.
You can do that with walls too, Paul, when you get real creative and want things to cost a whole lot.
Since walls are made out of CAD lines,
Right.
there you go. Driveways, roads, sidewalks, anything made out of a CAD line, in which those items are, you can bend them like that. All right, let's keep moving on. So now this detail, you've drawn this with the 2D CAD tools. You didn't get that from the 3D model, correct?
Right. Yes.
All right, cool. Yeah, nice looking detail, lots of notes. I mean, just, it says a lot of information. These details take a lot of time to draw. Not just to draw, but to figure out. It's one thing to draw it, but now you got to think about, how am I going to do this, and how am I going to build it? And you try this and you try that, and what could take you 15 minutes to draw, if you knew exactly what you're drawing, could take hours to figure out and draw. So that's where some of the challenge comes in on a lot of this stuff. All right, here's the page we're on with that nice schedule. You got a nice little detail of the overhang here. That's great. Shows how the headers work. Got your wall schedule. You got what do we got here? A proposed second floor plan. Looks nice. That works well. You're going to get your 3D framing plan, and we already talked about that. You got your, the framing you've added here is how you got those nice 3D framing plans.
Right.
Because as you're building your model, you're getting the right floor thicknesses in, you get right wall heights, right wall thickness, right ceiling heights, right roof planes with the right thickness of roof box. When you add the framing to those boxes, it's all going to be the right kind of framing. And it makes it really easy to fill in the framing on these kind of plans. So you've got something here, existing ceiling framing, modify as necessary. That's a TBD type of a deal. So you got a schedule notating your different kinds of call outs. So it's another note schedule. How'd you get the different types of call outs on that schedule?
Well, I have floor joist framing call outs, ceiling joists, and rafters.
So how'd you get the different shapes show up on the same schedule?
In my defaults, when I set up the call outs for a particular plan view, it allows you to pick, and when I set up my note schedule, it allows me to pick a different shape for if I want to. Okay.
Okay, well, we'll come back to that, because again, you got that schedule here. All right. So you've just combined a bunch of stuff into one schedule, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. More framing. Nice detail there.
Right, and you'll notice there that's the second floor. I think those are the proposed second floor, and I drew one with the first floor walls underneath the second floor joists.
Okay.
And then next to it is the reference display of the second floor walls.
All right.
Just to give, and again, it's probably not necessary, but I kind of do it for myself because I know I'm going to be on the job site during this, and questions will come up, and it's just a real easy way to see what's under.
Yeah, you've figured it out in advance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you know how to order the right material. You know how you're going to put it in. You won't have any waste. You'll have fewer mistakes. I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, the time spent on these kinds of things can pay back immensely in the course of the project.
Yeah.
Immensely.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, these are awesome. Got some nice elevations. You've done the story pole here, which was nice. Here again,
That's the standard story pole that Chief has.
and here again,
Stuff. I know the inspectors like to see that, so I just threw it on there. I don't think I'll really need it for anything, but they want to see the total height of the building.
Yeah, I tend to do these dimension types of things in a cross section. That's just how I've always worked. But Chief has since added the story pole option, which I know a lot of people use, and it works great. Again, another one of those kind of views that's an image that might print better if you convert it to a plot line, to vector lines.
And you know, I don't do it as an image because I change it so much. I make so many changes.
When I say
build,
Paul, when I say image, Paul,
yeah,
I mean you sent it to the layout as a render view. So the difference between a render view and a vector view, and I call a vector view a line drawing. So the lines on the line drawing are going to print to scale. They're going to print accurately. They'll have the different line weights to them that you would use, the different line colors if you had them set up that way. And so when we see this view here, which is now a vector view, that's going to print, I think, really nicely along with this kind of an elevation. So I always do my elevations in a vector view. So again, so this was sent to the sheet the same way you sent these kind of views. You sent a render view. It just happens to be a flat on render view. So that's all I'm really trying to point out here. So they'll both probably print fine, but this one will print more accurately.
That will update if I change a window. That will.
Bam. Yep. Plus, you can go in here, and if you have some extra lines that you want to get rid of,
like all those rafters.
Yeah, you could hit this edit icon here, and you can I could hold my shift key down and I could delete all those out of there. I need to go turn the shadows off to get rid of that though, because the shadows are still showing up there. I can't edit that, but I can now edit any of the lines on this view with that. And so what I'm doing is I'm editing the 3D camera lines, the lines generated by the 3D model. As soon as you update this view again though, with the update, those lines will all come back. So that'd be the kind of thing you'd save till the very end until you're ready to print your plan. Oh man, we're out of time.
Yeah. Questions still? Do you want to take some time to
Yeah,
answer?
I'll take a few questions. Yeah, we can run over a little bit today.
We can just say yes or no and go over them another time.
Yeah.
Where I lost my place. I'll just start at the bottom. Can you use previous CAD drawings as long as you've saved them for access?
You can use, you can use you could import them from any DWG file. Anything you've drawn with Chief can become a CAD detail. So you just really, all you have to do to create a detail that you can reuse over and over again would be to just go to your, go to where you've drawn that detail. Let me go find that here real quick and open that detail. Oh, I'm on the wrong plan here. Let me just open one of these details. So I could group select this. So I'm just highlighted everything. I'm going to make it a block right here. All right, with clicking the block icon. And then I'm going to open the dialog for it, and I'll name that detail right here. This is a section, number, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I would click OK, and now I could hit this book icon, add it to a library. That'd be in my user library. So that's going to, so it's added it. Since I changed the name, it added it. It put it there, and I could now change and put that in different folders on my library. Anytime I need it, I just click on it, bring it back in. I can now click on it, ungroup it, and now I'm back to a detail that I can edit. So really a powerful way to save and store the information that you put into your plan. Okay, next, John.
How does somebody add a schedule to a CAD detail?
A schedule to a CAD detail. I mean, a schedule in Chief is created from the schedules right here.
Right.
So we have all these different kinds of schedules. So you would just, wherever your detail is, if you have a detail here and you want to add a schedule to it, you would have to add a schedule. You could add in this case, a note schedule. And then I could just add notes here and the schedule would start populating.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to make some settings though for the right kind of notes.
Use a note number for each of those items that has text for it and have
right.
in the schedule. Right. Yeah. I'm going to miss a few here, but Paul, a few people have said you're amazing work. Good job.
It was a nice job.
Yeah.
You've done a really great job. And we didn't even get a chance to really dig through all these other things, but you got some nice 3D sections here. These are cut through your 3D model because you've done everything accurately in your model. That in here, that becomes tough to do. That takes time to get that all right. So that's all of that. And then you got some more schedules. You got a real nice section detailed out like crazy, which is awesome because, how are you going to build this thing? That's the kind of questions that, a good designer is going to answer all day long. And you just need to figure that out before you go build the project. Good plan. It's well needed. So some more sections. I think you mentioned you were adding some more sections here or something. And again, I like the little details you've done on these pages here, kind of showing how your deck's going to be put together and how you're doing the footing. You've got some nice pictures of, you brought this picture in. It's just a standard photograph. I don't know where you got it, but it really tells how things are built.
Right. So that's one CAD detail that's blocked together.
So this is something that you've put together?
No, I took that. If you double click that to go to the CAD detail page, so that's just a picture, a standard, stair
okay.
picture. But those are actually pictures of projects I built, and I figured the best way to show people how I want my framers how I wanted to build is
bam.
Because to draw that detail and then to
it'll take a while.
Exactly, I'm not going to spend the time doing that.
Yeah. So you're obviously using the the plastic decking, the Trex or whatever it is. So you have to have a lot of 12 inches on center for that kind of stuff. And I like how you strap them together here. I mean, that's not going to go anywhere for a long time. So that's a nice detail. All right. Very cool. So yeah, so that's that's your viewport right here holds what you've drawn in your plan. So again, you never draw on the layout page. And in this case, you've added notes and stuff here, and you've done it in the CAD detail window where it should be done. Mm-hmm. So that stays as part of your plan, and you can find that detail again really easily. So yeah, nice job of not drawing on the layout page.
I try to really limit the amount I draw on the layout.
Yeah, borders and text, borders and labels is what I tell everybody.
Labels, here and there. Yeah.
And then you got your electrical plan. Very nice. You got a nice electrical schedule. Which did you grab that out of the library?
Right out of Chief's library. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to make my own, but for now, I just leave that in there.
Yeah. The nice thing about what they've done here is it matches the symbols we're using from the standard libraries. Mm-hmm. So that works really nice. So again, that's in the library. Here's you're going to get. It looks like you're going to be working on your ductwork and things. Mm-hmm. Get that in there. And then you got some more detail notes about structural and strapping that you have to use in your neck of the wood. And very nice. So very, very well done. So cool.
So all right. Getting even more questions. So I think I'll
take two more questions.
Two more questions. Okay. Well, one question that I won't count in this is somebody was wondering how they get a hold of your template.
If you go to my website, if you go to Chief Experts Academy, you can go to the store, and the template is right here. It's listed right there, and that includes all the training you're going to need to customize and understand how the template works and how I put it together the way I did. So it's let me go to the, oh shoot, I got to put a link here to the info page. Hang on. Well, there's a listing. It'll show all of the training that's in that course. It just reminds me I need to go add a link here and turn this into a different link. I'll take care of that right after this. So you get it there. It also comes with the Creating a Plan course. It comes with the Pro Academy membership. So if you're a member of Pro Academy, which has got all sorts of videos, you get the template with that and all the training that comes with it. And it also comes with the mastering course and all the training. So there's a bunch of ways. It doesn't come with the CAD courses or this course here. But anyway, so there you go. That's how you get my template.
Okay, and then where do we go to see these episodes?
The episodes are in the blog at Chief Experts Academy. So if you just run over there and hit the blog, and you can go watch any of the past previous shows that we've done. So,
okay.
So there you go.
First question that's going to count for one of two is, how can the note callouts in a note schedule all be the same size? Mine are all over the place.
That's controlled a couple of ways. The easiest way to control it is by the layer that it's on. All right, so let me go add let me just go to my new plan. Okay, so I'll switch to a deal here. So I've got a note schedule right here already in my plan for my architectural notes. So if I click on that and open it, you're going to have some options. What can be on the note schedule, what layer it's on. And if we look at the text, at the line style, it's on a layer called Notes Architectural. All right. Anything that's added to your plan automatically, window labels, cabinet labels, room labels, note schedules, any schedule is controlled, that the size of the font in that schedule is controlled by what layer that's on. So this note schedule is controlled by this layer, which I've got set up to have 4.5-inch tall text in it, which is what the size text you want for that kind of a plan that's going to be printed at a 1/4-inch scale. So you'll notice if I switch to a different scale, that schedule will change in size, because I need, for 1/8-inch view, I need bigger text. So it's controlled by the layer that it's on. So when I go start adding notes to my plan with the note tool here, and I start typing things in, I know that text is going to be the right size text. So if I switch to a different size plan, I've got it set up so that it automatically changes for that particular kind of a view. And it's controlled in the layers for anything that has to do. If you go here and type in the word label, all of those items, all of the labels are controlled by whatever's listed right here. Okay. If you go to the schedules, all of the schedules are controlled by whatever's listed here. And actually, I think I have the schedules under notes in my template. So all of the note schedules are controlled by what's here and what size view you're on. So I've got it all set up already. So it's all the right size text. It's really confusing at first, believe me. It took me a while to figure that out.
Okay. And our second question is, if you print a PDF layout, print a layout to PDF, will it print differently?
Will it print differently? Yeah. What do you mean by that?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, one thing you could do a couple ways. So here's the actual layout page. So when I go click on the line weight button right here, okay, sometimes that'll help you see how it's going to print out. So when you turn the line weights on, if you've got CAD details here, you can kind of see, okay, that one's probably all this.
Actually images, Dan.
Those are images. All right, so let's go find a detail.
Go to a different detail.
Yeah, let's go find something like this is a drawing.
Yeah.
All right, so when I turn the line weight on, you can see a little bit better how it's going to print. It appears that particular view is all right.
Weights, yeah.
All right. Pardon?
Probably the gist of the question is, if you use the print to PDF, is it going to print differently than if you just go straight to print?
Possibly. I mean, I always tell people print to PDF and then print the PDF.
Right.
Because when you print the PDF, you're going to see exactly how the PDF will show you exactly how the print's going to come. The CAD screen might not. So again, if you print the PDF, and I'm not going to do this because it'll take a while, unless I just do current sheet. Let's
do that. Update, and that wouldn't take quite.
Yeah, let's cancel this.
Dan, if you go on if you go on one of my cross section drawings,
come on,
double click it, and then hit the line weights, you'll see a big difference.
All right, yeah, let's go there. Okay, so let me find one. Where we got one of those cross section. All right, you got the shadows are turned on. That's why it's dark. I think I already converted that to. I think I already converted that to a plot line. Yep. So, yeah. So here's with the line weight off. Here's with the line weight on. Now, you can control this without having to go back to the view. If your line weights are printing way too heavy or way too light for your entire plan, you go to File, Print, and you go to Drawing Sheet Setup, and you're going to adjust the setting called Advanced Line Weight. You're going to adjust this. So if we go here and I put in a real high number, let's put 300 in there, millimeters, click OK. And you're going to see that the lines will now become a lot lighter. See, the lines will print lighter. So if you want it darker, go to File, Print, Drawing Sheet Setup, and under Advanced Line Weight. And this is going to affect all of the lines in the program. So if you take sometimes if you have a 24 by 36 that you're going to shrink down to 8.5 by 11 and print it, do this first. So then your line weights become better on the 8.5 by 11. So if I go to a 50 on this, now you're going to see my line weights are going to mush into one big line weight. So that's your advanced line weight option. Just go play with that a little bit. If your line weights, it's not going to affect your photos or renderings or anything like that. Just the lines. Okay, makes sense. All right. So John, I think we've set a record for going over on our show.
Yeah.
But that's typical when we start talking about chief architect stuff. We could probably go another couple hours, no problem.
There was some comments that said, "Let's do this again."
Okay, I think we will. We do this every Friday from noon to 1. So
I mean, this format, reviewing somebody's plan.
Yeah, I want to make this a monthly deal. It's really a lot of fun doing this. I do enjoy looking at plans and what other people are doing, or even our own plans too. We can review, and it's a good topic, and a lot can be learned about it's fun to see what other people are doing. So Paul, when you sent me this earlier, was it last week or this week? It's like I looked at it and going, "This is an awesome plan, Paul. Let's do a plan review." And thank you for volunteering, not agreeing to do this. Thank you for allowing us to do this goofy image of you.
A lot of people got a good laugh out of that.
I know. Well, I give these to I have graphics people that do these, and I said, "Here, do something." And they do all of my show images, and this is what they came up with, and I thought it was cute as heck. And I figured you'd get a chuckle out of it, knowing you as you've been to our live training classes. So which I can't wait to get back to.
Yeah, there was a couple comments about that too.
Yes.
I just want to make one other comment. When you were talking, Paul, about how you've learned Chief, one thing we didn't talk about was the good Facebook pages that are out there that help us learn too. And my favorite is Chief Experts Academy.
Oh,
yes,
it's priceless.
Yeah. So people that ask questions that didn't get them answered, you could join that page if you're not there, or if you are there.
And again, since we're way over anyway, all you have to do to go to that page is go to Chief Experts Academy, go to the home page, click on home, and go to the bottom, and you can click on join our private Facebook group, and you can become part of the group, and where you go. So in fact,
so we didn't see what you were doing.
Oh, for Pete's sake. But anyway, you got the idea. So you just go to the bottom of the page and click this one right here, join our private Facebook group. There's no charge or anything. You just join. Yeah. And you can also go to our YouTube channel too, which is, these shows are also stored there.
Don't go there trying to learn everything, but there's a lot of people that are more than willing to help you get past a hurdle.
Well, the thing about Chief Architect, you'll never ever stop learning.
Right.
quite often you'll forget something and you go somewhere and go, oh yeah, that function. I remember that. I need that right now. But I mean, I've been using Chief as long as anybody. I mean, version 1, serial number 94. And, I use it daily, and I still go to these courses. I learn stuff from people online. I go to Chief's courses, which hopefully we'll get to again this September. And we're all here to help. And that's what it's really all about. And again, I appreciate you guys all coming to our show. We do try to mix the shows up with different topics, not just all Chief, but we want Chief to be part of it. So our goal is to help you in your business in a lot of ways. And we look forward to working with you. John, Paul, any other comments you want to make?
Thanks for having me.
Oh my goodness. Thanks for being here.
It's a lot of
I
fun.
appreciate it. And keep up the good work, Paul. You're doing an amazing job.
It's nice talking to you guys.
All right.
Text
Talk to you again soon.
all the time. All right.
What's that?
No, it's nice. It's nice to actually talk to you guys, to see you, as opposed to just typing on the screen, seeing the words.
Yeah, that's kind of like the live meetings. It's nice to shake hands and give hugs, and hopefully we'll be doing that again sooner than later.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye, guys.
Peace.